Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. This is the reaction to Ruben Amorim's press conference before our game at Old Trafford tomorrow evening, 5:30 kickoff against Brighton. A huge game, and I know we say it every single week, but genuinely this is massive. Are Manchester United going to take steps forward and actually get a consistent run of wins together, prove that this is a turning point? Or is it going to be the same old story, turn up for a big side, go and get a great win against a big six-tat side, and then when you go and face, I don't want to be disrespectful to Brighton because they're a really good side and they've had our number a few times, but you go and face a side that you would expect Manchester United to beat. The name Manchester United to beat. A side that's going to be in the top half, but is not in the top four. That sort of side Manchester United has struggled against massively, and this could be a real turning point for Manchester United if they manage to go out there and get a win against Brighton tomorrow. Ruben Amorim knows this. He's been speaking about the importance of that game, how good Brighton are, how exciting they are to watch. Also, Fabian Hirschler, a big fan of his. He is also said that Manchester United have some injury blows. Harry Maguire and Mason Mount potentially injured for tomorrow's game. We'll get the detail on that in a second. But he's also said against Liverpool, there's a narrative, there's fine margins. He mentioned Cody Gakpo's shot that hit the bar. He said if that's a few inches into the left, then you're having a different conversation. So he acknowledges fine margins in football. He doesn't want to get carried away with the win against Liverpool. But also this is a real opportunity for his team, for his squad, and he's spoken about that as well. Also some stuff on Lisandro Martinez and his injury when he's going to return for Manchester United. It's not for tomorrow's game. I don't think it'll be before the international break based on what Ruben Amorim's saying, to be honest with you, but I'll get the detail on that as well. And some really interesting words from Ruben Amorim on his captain, Bruno Fernandes. The expectations of Bruno when he came into the club compared to what he thinks about the player now. But welcome everybody to the show. Get your comments in. Let's get interactive. Smash a like on the video if you've not already. And get in the comments what you want to talk about, any polls, anything you want to ask me or talk about before the game tomorrow. Get your comments in and let's have a nice interactive show going through Ruben Amorim's quotes. I did watch the press conference, so when you watch the press conference, you see more about what the manager is saying, you see the context, you see his mannerisms, and it's more than just a quote that has maybe been a little bit selective, so I can give a little bit more context around what Ruben Amorim was saying on certain parts of the press conference. But starting off, we have the team news for the game against Brighton, and this is what Ruben Amorim had to say. He said, "The squad is fine, but I have some doubts, some issues during the week with Maguire and Mount. Knocks, but nothing serious. We shall see tomorrow. Leacher is out, but the rest are ready for the game." So everybody is perfectly ready. Mason Mount and Harry Maguire are doubts for the game. I would be gutted if either of these players missed the game because I think Mount is way more important than what people think. I say it every week. Robert McCormack will be in the chat agreeing with me, one of the only people. But even though Mason Mount had quite a quiet game at Anfield, he was crucially important to that performance. Cunha was the best player on the pitch. Cunha was the best player on the pitch, but Mason Mount, again, was crucial. Him and Cunha, Van Dijk couldn't handle, and Mason Mount was a big part of that. He is the glue within that front line, and I think just because he's not flashy, just because he's not, a Hollywood player, people don't understand how important he is. He starts the press, his technical ability, his positioning. Him and Cunha were big reasons why Van Dijk couldn't handle that front line. So I would be gutted if Mason Mount is out because I think he's showing his importance to this Manchester United side. He's giving Ruben Amorim a real headache with that front line. You've got Cunha, you've got Mbeumo, you've got Sesko, you've got Mason Mount. You can only play three of them. So I would be gutted if he's out, and plus as well, in terms of his injury record at Manchester United is not good. He started off the season well in terms of injuries. I think he's been out once, and that was maybe for one game. You don't want to get into the habit where Mason Mount is getting injured again. You want him to stay fit. He came off slightly early at Anfield as well, so you'd like to think he's going to be fit enough for this game, although it might make Ruben Amorim's mind up for him because going into this Brighton game, there's a big decision to make. Cunha has to start. He was man of the match against Liverpool. He was fantastic. And Mbeumo has to start. it's Mbeumo who's our best forward player in my opinion. So the question is who starts, Mason Mount or Benjamin Sesko? Like I said, I think Mason Mount is crucially important and people underestimate his importance. However, Sesko previously got 2 goals. He's looking really good. He's our striker. We need to play with the centre forward ideally. Will this make Ruben Amorim's mind up for him? Go for Benjamin Sesko at Old Trafford against this Brighton side and then bring Mason Mount off the bench on if he is just nursing something, not to make it worse. He's always very, very, very careful with both Luke Shaw and Mason Mount, very careful. So if there is some sort of doubt over Mount, I doubt he'll play from the start, but he could be an option within the game. It's not serious though, and that's important. Nothing serious. It's just he's really got to be careful with players like Mount, Martinez, Shaw, who have had some bad injury records in the past. I mean, Martinez still isn't back and probably isn't going to be back before that November international break. And Maguire, no way Maguire is missing this game. If there is a slight knock there, I understand having to protect him because he is important. If he's perfectly fit, I'd expect him to start. However, this is the good thing about having some depth within the squad. You can go out there and you can play Luke Shaw, Matthias de Ligt and Lenny Yoro. You've still got a brilliant back three. Lenny Yoro was excellent when he came off the bench at Anfield, and that cameo was so important for the team. So I would be absolutely happy with that back three starting. As good as Maguire was, he got that winning goal. He's not actually usually a starter under Amorim. He's been a starter in some big games, and Amorim does call upon him in some important moments, but predominantly it has been that Shaw, de Ligt and Yoro back three. Also, Nusam Mazraoui is coming back into the fold. He was on the bench against Liverpool. He wasn't used and he was only just coming back, but he's fit. He's fit, he's ready. He's such a good right-sided centre-back, can play wing-back as well. So you've got options. If Maguire can't start and you don't want to risk him, you've got Yoro, you've got Mazraoui, we've got a bit of depth, which is really exciting. I mean, it's funny how tables do turn, because I was talking about this with producer Ryan actually before we went live, and Manchester United now, there's a big swing to get into that top four. If you actually go and look at the Premier League table, which I'm about to just get up now, so I'm 100% clear with you guys, I don't want to get anything wrong. If you actually get up the Premier League table, so United are sat in 9th spot with 13 points. Chelsea are in 5th with 14 points. That's a 1 point difference, right? In 3rd, there is Bournemouth with 15 points. Liverpool are on 15 points. It's on screen if you are watching visually. If you are an audio listener, I've just read that out for you. So Manchester United are a point of getting into the top 5 currently. A point. And there's some interesting fixtures coming up for a lot of teams. You know, we're 2 points behind Liverpool. Could you actually imagine if Bruno would have scored that penalty against Fulham, scored that penalty against Brentford? Brentford still might have gone and beat us. They really did run us ragged that day, but you never know. Goals can change games. I know it's hindsight, and I know, you know, them things didn't happen. You know, if you had wheels, you'd be a bike. That old saying, that kind of thing. We didn't do it. Bruno didn't do it, and it's not all on Bruno. The team has to be better 100%. And they had to be better in them games. But we are close now. We are playing better. That Liverpool game should give us a massive, massive, massive lift. But it only means something if we go out and beat Brighton. If you go out and beat Brighton and you kind of put that pressure on going into the top 5 spots, it gets interesting. The lead up to Christmas gets really, really interesting. However, you lose to Brighton and you think, oh, same thing as before. You know, like when we went and won 2-1 at the Etihad, Ahmad's winner. We actually played pretty well that game. You're thinking this could be the start of something, and then teams that you want to and should go and beat come along and you can't get the win. Brighton have had our number multiple times. They are a tough team for us to go against, and this is going to be a huge test. I actually saw something earlier that Ruben Amorim has the same amount of wins against Big Six sides as he does between sides from the Big Six to 11th place in the Premier League table. So that spot between like the Big Six and then down to 11th, we have the same number of wins as we do against the Big Six. So it just shows how difficult them sort of games have been for this side and Ruben Amorim since he's been in charge. Even before that, really. And that's something we really got to nail. It's consistency. I mean, I have friends that are Arsenal fans. I have friends that are Liverpool fans, City fans, unfortunately. Unfortunate, isn't it, when people grow up as fans of them clubs? And they say to me, like, I'm not actually surprised you went and beat Liverpool. Of course, like, I expected Liverpool to win, but I'm not surprised because United can do it. Even if you play in a way where we've parked the bus in previous years, we've done it under Ole, we've done it under Ten Hag, we've done it under Amorim, you can beat the big six sides. Like, United have always been capable of doing that. But you've not been capable of putting a consistent run together in the Premier League. Like, the Brightons are what trips us up. And I do think this is a little bit different in the sense of when we actually went to Anfield under Ruben Amorim, yes, they had more possession than us, but I actually thought it was a really even game, which, I mean, when we went there and got that draw under Ten Hag, we literally parked the bus. And we needed to do that at the time because the previous result we won't talk about. Under Ole, when we've gone and beat City in them games, and you just remember Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, in them games under Ole where we went and beat City, we would park the bus and counter-attack. Under Ruben Amorim, yeah, at times we've sat deep, but we've gone to the Emirates and give them a game like we did in the FA Cup. We've gone to City and played really well against them, like we did when Ahmad scored that last-minute winner and we won 2-1. We've gone to Anfield and we've shown up and we've given them a game, not only last year in that 2-2, but this year as well. So that is the difference that I'm seeing under Amorim, and we are looking more confident, we are playing better. We've got to convert, we've got to ensure that we don't make sloppy mistakes, and it's got to be the same mentality every week. Pretend you're playing Liverpool every week. That mentality has to stay throughout Manchester United, and it's about Ruben Amorim getting that into the players, the senior leadership team doing that as well. And time will tell when we go to Old Trafford tomorrow night, and what team will turn up. A team that has done previously, or a new team that is turned the corner under Ruben Amorim and is going to go and win some games on a consistent basis. Already got some chats coming in from you guys. A lot of people speaking about Baleba as well. I'm so excited to see what Brighton do tomorrow in terms of, will Baleba start? He's not really been starting games. How will he perform? He was starting games, but then he was getting subbed, and Baleba's not had the start to the season as he would have wanted to have, and Herschler would have wanted him to have. How is he going to handle Old Trafford tomorrow? How's Herschler going to utilise him? I'm excited to see that as well. Danny Barler says, hey Beth, have you guys tried getting the United Strand on the show? We had him on deadline day in the summer, at the end of the summer window. I will hope to get him on again. I actually have kept in contact with him a little bit. So, I mean, would you guys like to see him appear again? I think he's been on Countdown to Kickoff or the Deadline Day stream. I think it was the Deadline Day stream. It'd be good to get him on a Countdown to Kickoff show. So, yeah, we'll reach out. It's near. His haircut is near. Kuwaimok Rai says, I come to hear the ifs and buts. Do I say that a lot? I mean, ifs and buts, that is Manchester United to a T. So if I do say it, it's because Manchester United deserve it. 3 points tomorrow, says Real Valentino record. I mean, it's going to be really tough. I think a lot of people are going to be predicting them 3 points, but Brighton are a tough side. You've got to remember that. On Brighton, Ruben Amorim had to say this. It's going to be a very difficult game. Brighton are really fun to watch. They are really good on the build-up. They are strong on transitions in every aspect of the game. They're doing well at set pieces this season, so they are a team who really compete, who are really complete. And I like the fact he mentioned they are doing well on set pieces, because Man United have struggled. Man United have struggled against teams with good set piece delivery, and that is where we've been a bit sloppy. Even in that Chelsea game, that's how we conceded our goal, the game that we won, and we've conceded a lot of set pieces. In that Liverpool game, we look better. We look way more organised. We look more switched on. I think Maguire is really important for that. And the fact he's mentioned set pieces in this, you'd like to think that Ruben Amorim is probably thinking, I hope Maguire is fit because he's so good at set pieces. However, I do think Yoro is massively improved getting up in the air in the Premier League. I thought it was one of his weaknesses, but in that Liverpool game, he won quite a few really important headers, and I've noticed the improvement there, so hopefully that continues. He says we need to be really smart and to face that game with a real focus on everything that we do, because they're a very strong team. You can see it with how they play the game. They are very intense. The quality is there. They believe a lot in what they are doing, even under pressure. So I'm a huge fan of Herschler, their manager. Two young managers of the Premier League, Ruben Amorim and Fabian Herschler. Let me just double check Herschler's age there, because he is a young manager, I know that. He's 32. Wow. Ruben Amorim's a little bit older than him. I think he's just turned 40, if I'm not wrong on that. Yeah, 40 years old, Ruben Amorim. So two younger managers, if you look at, the managers that are in the Premier League and the age ranges, but both of them spoken very glowingly about each other. I think Herschler in his press conference said he's really excited to go against one of the best managers. Speaking about Ruben Amorim, Ruben Amorim's track record doesn't say that United, but his track record at Sporting is fantastic. So if he can get that to translate to Manchester United, Herschler might be onto something. But it's all ifs and buts, like we were saying in the comments there. But he's not wrong on his assessment of Brighton. A really good team, and they know what they're doing. They're well drilled. They are intense. We struggle to deal with their intensity, and they will have confidence, massive confidence coming into this game, because they've been successful against us in the past. Rob Always United says, who does your brother support, Beth? My brother supports United. I mean, I have friends who support other sides. I'm not like completely tunnel vision in that way. I mean, I wish all my friends supported United, but I have friends who support other football teams. But no, my dad, me, my brother, my mum, all United fans. Granddad, all United fans. Like, obviously. That's who we talk all day, every day in our group chat about United. It's just, my life is United, United, United. I have it here when I'm speaking to you guys, which I love, the community. Family talks. I mean, with my friends, I always talk about football, and people want to talk about football with me because they know that I can do the shows and stuff. And also, what else is football? There was something else I was going to lead on to then, but I can't quite remember. But it's literally like, get up, eat, sleep, breathe football. That is what we do, but we love it for that reason. And I love it even more when Manchester United are winning, for sure. Has any of you got any stories where your partner or maybe, a family member supports a different club? I couldn't do that, me. I really couldn't do it. I really struggle to watch United if there's a fan of another club with me. I really, really struggle with it. Before I did the United stand, I remember, because I do the United stand now, if United are ever playing on Boxing Day, I'm at the studio, or I'm at Old Trafford, or wherever United are, I'm here. I mean, before that, I went to the games with season ticket. Yeah, I get that. But if United are on TV, I'd be watching it with my family. If there's other people in the room that are a different fan, I mean, there would be kickoffs. There would be absolute kickoffs. It does happen. So I don't ever watch United with opposition fans now, because I'm always with United fans, or I'm here or whatever. But if there is opposition fans around, I just cannot actually function. There will be an argument. There will be kickoffs. I mean, what fan clubs are the worst? When I was at uni, as much as, City, they are our rivals, and don't get me wrong, it's not one of them where I don't care about them, because I'd rather them not win. But it's the Liverpool that's really, the strong one, in terms of they've got a huge fan base behind them, and it's the clash of the titles and all that stuff. But City fans I've always found very, 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 very biased towards their club. I mean, I know they win a lot, but very, very biased and very anti-United, like have a strong hatred for United, and vice versa. I get that, but they're the ones that I really, really kind of struggle with when I'm watching games. But let me know your thoughts on that. Next up on the Ruben Amorim press conference is Bruno Fernandes, and he's spoken a little bit about his interpretation of Bruno Fernandes, and he gets asked, unless he's got something up his sleeve tomorrow, Bruno Fernandes will make his 300th appearance for Manchester United. And can I just say, round of applause for Bruno, because what a fantastic servant to his football club. I know there's been mixed opinions on him over the last few years, but for me, brilliant player, brilliant person, and always there, always available, never injured. Ruben Amorim had this to say: he's a little different than what I was expecting. Everything you read about a player is sometimes not that. You can understand the frustrations he feels because he wants to help a lot the teammates. Sometimes it is not in the best way, but it comes from a good place, and you don't know that when you are not here. So you don't understand that where he's coming from is from a really good place unless you are here, unless you know him. He wants the responsibility all the time. He suffers a lot when we lose. Every time we don't win a game, you can feel it. He takes it personally. as you should do as the captain. He's a great leader, great footballer, and let's see if he reaches that landmark tomorrow. And it's one of them for Bruno where he cares that deeply, so much about this football club, that there would be an argument that sometimes he takes it too personally. He cares too much. Is there such thing as caring too much? Because he can get really, really frustrated, and like Ruben Amorim says, maybe doesn't express it in the right way, but his heart is in the right place. And if everybody cared about Manchester United and winning football games for Manchester United in that squad the same way Bruno Fernandes did, I guarantee you we would be in a better position. We need better players. The manager has to do his bit, of course they do, but it all starts with up here, and our mentality has been like this for years now. Bruno Fernandes, if he drops a stinker, if he drops a world-class performance, it's the same every single time. His attitude is up here. He will do everything to win. Usually, he plays well. And we said previously, if Bruno Fernandes plays well, Manchester United plays well. Bruno Fernandes played really well in that first half against Liverpool. For me, one of the best players on the pitch. He was fantastic. Second half, even though the assist for Harry Maguire was absolutely world class, like genuinely world class, not many players in football can do that. That's been spoken of. But his overall game dropped. It dropped off. He looked fatigued. He was giving the ball away a lot. United dropped off. He's so fundamental to this team. But even if he is having a bit of a poor performance or a poor spell in a game, he's always running through brick walls. He's always, setting the right example in terms of work ethic. And I think that's what Ruben Amorim's saying. There's a narrative about Bruno that he can be petulant. He's always kind of having a go at other players. And he is the captain, so when he's on the pitch, it is his job to relay messages to teammates, to dictate the team in a way. However, I do agree, sometimes, it can look a little bit like, oh, what's his problem? Oh, where's he coming from? But Ruben Amorim has said it comes from a good place. The teammates know that, and it's different to what he expected. Because, and I've said this multiple times, I don't know a patch on what Ruben Amorim knows, of course, but I've had the pleasure of going to Carrington. I've had the pleasure of meeting people in and around Manchester United. Every single thing I hear is Bruno Fernandes is an amazing person. He is super caring, he's super kind, he's a brilliant leader, heartbeat inside the dressing room. I've only heard positive things. That's all I can say. But everyone's going to have their opinions. Everyone has a right to the opinion. You're putting yourself out there on the pitch, playing for Manchester United. You're the captain of the club, so you're going to get criticism. And there's certain things that you do think like when he came out after the City game and name dropped Lenny Yoro for not doing his job properly, a young centre-back that's kind of learning at Manchester United, people did think, that was a little bit out of order. And I looked at it and I thought, do you know what? I probably wouldn't have name-dropped him because of his age and because, he's probably going to take that to heart a little bit. It's something I'd maybe speak to him about privately in the dressing room. Bruno Fernandes, he's been at the club for many, many years, and you can barely pick out one of them occasions. But what he does do after the Liverpool game is he's asked in an interview, who are your man of the match? Who was man of the match in that Liverpool game? And he stands there and he name drops Lenny Yoro and says his performance was really, really important for us. Amazing off the bench. And he tries to get asked about himself and his assist, and he completely plays it down and doesn't speak about it and says that's normal, that's fine, that's my job. And then continues to talk really highly about Maguire, Cunha. Like, that's what a captain does. So everyone has got flaws. Everybody, sometimes can make a mistake. But overall, I think Bruno Fernandes' captaincy has been really, really good. And just because United haven't been doing their best on the pitch, it's not down to one individual. If anything, I think he's uplifted us in many, many ways. Not perfect, absolutely not. And I know Ricky's watching the show, he told me he was, and he won't be enjoying this section, and he'll send me a massive paragraph saying why I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion on Bruno. I love him, and even if he continues to frustrate me, I will still love him. Class of 99 says, we don't need 10 other disciplined Brunos in a team leaving gaps on the pitch. The main character syndrome creates as many problems as he does good. Class of 99, some people have that opinion. That is fine. Ricky has a similar opinion to that. Some people do. I know Goldbridge, is a bit frustrated with him sometimes. But my opinion is what I've just told you. I won't go over it. people disagree in football, that's fine, and you're entitled to your opinion. I agree, sometimes he does leave gaps, sometimes he's, a little bit too much everywhere, like leaving gaps and maybe trying to do a bit too much. That's something that a manager should pull him on, and also himself. No player is perfect, but I think output-wise, he does give us a lot. And without him, who else is putting that ball into Harry Maguire at Anfield? I know Maguire's got to score it, but that pass is just perfection. Perfection. Danny Barler says, do you think any players watch the show? I think some have watched the show in the past or do watch the show, from what I've heard, but I don't know. I don't know about specifics, or if anybody in the current squad does. I don't know on that one. I don't know if they'll be watching my shows. Maybe they'll watch Goldbridge's, but I don't know if they'll watch mine. I mean, I just think about if I was a player. I mean, you can't think about it really. If I was a player and I just, if I know I've played like a really good game, I'm gonna go and have a look what people are saying, I think. And also if I've not as well, just to kind of, I would, but that's just my personality. But I don't know. Who knows? And we'll never know. Ruben Amorim on the wins. He says, first thing, we're really focused during the game, and then we play different games. We have one identity, one way of playing, but we adapt what kind of game we need to play in the moment. You could sense that in the first half against Sunderland was not the same as the second half. We know how to manage that. Against Liverpool, we scored right away in the first play, and then we managed the game and played a different style because it was needed in that moment. That is a good thing. Then we have a good spirit, and sometimes when you have a good spirit, you have a bit of luck that you need to win games. On Harry Maguire, he gets asked about a new contract for Harry. Interesting this, because he basically played it down massively. He said, we are really happy with Harry, not the time to talk about contracts, because that gives the idea that we are thinking very far away. We are really happy with Harry. He's really important for us, but we just need to focus on the next game. So didn't take up the Harry Maguire contract talk whatsoever, didn't want to talk about it publicly, which to me makes it feel like it's nowhere near done yet. If United were nearing to an agreement with Harry Maguire, I mean, maybe you just don't want to speak about it until it's fully done, but you're not going to speak about something if it could kind of blow up in your face a little bit. So I don't think Harry Maguire and United are near signing a new deal. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I think Maguire would like to continue with United. I think United will offer him a reduced salary to continue. Whether they sign it, let's see. But I don't think it's anywhere near done yet. Gets asked about Lisandro Martinez. And he says this, I don't know when Lisandro Martinez will be fit. He trained really well, not with us, but on the next pitch. So people saying that he was in first team training, he was on the next pitch, he's stepping it up, but he's not training with the first team squad yet entirely. He said he's feeling well, responding well, so I don't want to say a specific day or 1 week, but he is near to start training with the team. And then it depends on the rhythm of Leacher, if he wins his place or not. That will depend on him, but he's closer to a return to training. First of all, can't wait to have the option of having Lisandro Martinez back. We need his personality. I've seen a couple of people talking about this, and I thought about it myself as well. Them line-breaking passes into Matheus Cunha would be brilliant. To have someone with that kind of character, like what Matheus Cunha had against Liverpool. The bite, the hunger, the leadership qualities that Martinez has, and his ability on the ball, I think it'll be great to have in the squad. But what I did take from that is that he's not near fit, because he's not even training with the team yet. I don't think they'll rush him back before the November international break. Ruben Amorim didn't want to give a date, and I just don't think they want to rush him at all, especially if Luke Shaw keeps playing really well, which people don't want to accept. The only bad game Luke Shaw has had this season was against City at the Etihad, and most of our team had a bad game. Luke Shaw is playing really, really well. In the Bruno Fernandes chance, where he just kind of hits it wide and maybe glances off the post, where Ahmad pulls it back, Luke Shaw started that movement by a really, really nice piece of play. He's also good on the ball, but people don't want to acknowledge it because they don't like him. But what I found interesting about the Martinez quote from Ruben Amorim is he said, then it depends on the rhythm of Leacher if he wins his place or not. So it's not automatic that he will come straight back into the side. I think if he plays at his best, he will play. I've said it before on shows. I think he makes the best 11. because I think Luke Shaw would go to left wing back if his body can keep up. But Luke Shaw is playing really well. The manager thinks he's playing really well. He keeps picking him. And the manager, you know, he thinks Luke Shaw is top draw. So it's going to be competition there. People think it's just going to automatically be Lisandro Martinez, but there will be competition. And can Luke Shaw even play left wing back? Who knows if his body can keep up with it. Touch wood, he stays fit. But for now, he's doing well at left-sided centre-back, I think. Ruben Amorim gets asked about the media narrative of doubts, and he said this: "We cannot change so much. I think they asked me about top 4 at the end of the question. I don't want to change so much with the difference of 20 centimetres. If Gakpo's shot was 20 centimetres here, the narrative would have been really different. I don't want to maintain some claim and some direction with what we are doing. If you are manager at this kind of club, you don't win a lot of games, people will doubt you and they will have reasons for that. But my point of view is that we need to be clear on our path and not changing so much because we win one game. That is all." And I absolutely love that from Ruben Amorim, because so many managers, even previously at this club, and managers in general, would get carried away with that and kind of try and give themselves an ego boost because they've gone and beat Liverpool at Anfield for the first time in nearly a decade as Man United manager. A lot of managers would do that, but Ruben Amorim's been really honest and open. And when you're humble in a win, then when you do have a defeat, it's not as if you're getting whiplash from, wow, we're so amazing, oh, we're really poor. Because I think we do deal in extremities where, you know, United win a game, we're back, you know, 21's come in, United lose a game, oh, we could get relegated. Like, it feels like we're on this kind of seesaw at the minute, up, down, up, down, up, down. But Ruben Amorim's saying, basically, when we win a game like this, like, amazing, but I'm not going to get carried away. But also, if we lost to Brighton, I'm also not going to get carried away. I'm not going to get carried away with wins or losses right now because it is fine margins. And he is right. As much as I think United deserved to beat Liverpool, I thought we were the better team. I thought we managed the game better. I actually thought Ruben Amorim's, the way he set up and his subs were really good as well, which, you know, I've not been able to say that much in his Manchester United tenure. His in-game management could have been better in a lot of games, but I thought that Liverpool game, it was really dead on. As much as I do think we should have won that game, and I would have been gutted if we didn't, he is right in terms of Liverpool did have chances, and on a different day, you know, it could have been a different result. But it's the same with, you know, the first game of the season against Arsenal. On a different day, we could have beat Arsenal easily at Old Trafford. So doesn't want to get carried away, and I think that's a really nice place as a manager to be in, and it keeps the fans grounded as well. Fans will get carried away, we all do. Like, you know, we were celebrating that Maguire winner like we just won the Champions League. Like, that happens with fans. But the manager keeping everyone grounded, I think, is really nice. Just let me see if there's any comments coming in from you guys. I think I've got all the super chats in so far. Thank you everyone for getting involved. Smash a like on the video if you haven't already. I've got so many mixed opinions in the chat. Turpluxer says Leach will push Shaw to left wing back. Shaberto Carlos. A lot of people hoping Luke Shaw can do that left wing back role. I would love him to be able to. It's just, it's a much more taxing position than a left-sided centre-back is. It's really taxing on your body, that position. And that's why, you know, Ahmad is super fit. Dalot, despite, you know, how inconsistent his performances have been, super fit. Same with Dorgu, physically top draw. You've got to be really physically top to play that position and withstand injuries in that United side and Amorim system. And I'm not saying Luke Shaw isn't physically in good condition, because he is. It's just he's got a reoccurring injury that you've got to be careful of. And he gets asked on Maguire again, just basically saying that it's good for him to play with 3 centre-backs. He feels more comfortable because he plays in the centre. He does not need to go to the side so much, so you can help players with the way you play. Sometimes it is the opposite with some players. I'm really pleased. He is not young, but he can learn a lot. He can improve. I think he can be so much better with the ball because he has that quality, and he needs to show that. Nowadays, with set pieces that you see, the amount of men that you put in the box and every cross from the opponent, everyone is playing like that. So he's a massive player for us. I'm really happy But that game is in the past, that goal is in the past, and now let's look forward to the present and the future. So again, speaking about how he can do more on the ball, I think when Maguire actually does utilise his technique of being good on the ball, it's really, really good for Manchester United. Unfortunately, sometimes he does take a little bit too long on the ball, but when he actually does release it, his distribution can be really good. So I agree with Amorim on that, and he is right, you know, in the day and age where this long throw set piece is coming really back into play, and a key element of a football game, and can win you games. It can be the deciding factor. Having centre-backs and defenders and players who are really good in the air and good off set pieces, it can be crucial for you. I mean, look at what Gabriel has done for Arsenal, his influence, and Maguire has that similar sort of influence for us. Gabriel is obviously on a different level. I think Gabriel's one of the best centre-backs in the league, if not the best right now, but Maguire can bring that to us. He said, on United's double injury scare, I've done that one. Oh, I've done the injury scare of Mason Mount and Harry Maguire. Thank you very much, everyone, for going through Ruben Amorim's press conference with us. The game is on a Saturday this week, so it's just around the corner, literally tomorrow night. We'll be here with all of the coverage as per usual. But before that, tonight we have Werder Bremen versus Union Berlin. The stream starts at 7:15 on That's Football, Bundesliga live game, the match footage on That's Football with Goldbridge's commentary alongside it. He'll be watching the game with you. He'll be watching, you'll be watching, and the game will be on screen, so you can watch along with that on That's Football, 7:15. Bundesliga, every single week. Really, really good league to start getting involved with. And then tomorrow, Manchester United versus Brighton at Old Trafford. Countdown to kick-off will be live at 3:30 and the watch-along starts at 5 p.m. Make sure you are there. My road trip will be going out as well. Make sure you're going to jump on that. Get your score predictions in early. Saturday, Brentford versus Liverpool watch-along after that Brighton game. Could you imagine, right? Just setting the scene for you here. United beat Brighton, so we go above Liverpool in the table. Liverpool get beat by Brentford. We are having an absolutely amazing Saturday night. Drink of choice, whatever you're on, we're having a little bit of a pie. Of course, I actually do think Liverpool will bounce back, and I think the most Brentford might get out of that is a draw. However, it's a tough place to go, the GMX. It's a tough place to go down there at Brentford, so you never know. And United, of course, got to do their job, so let's see. There's lots of ifs and buts, but it could be a good Saturday night. And then Sunday, Arsenal Palace, 2 p.m. watch along. What a game. That'll be on That's Football as well. Brilliant game that'll be. Can't wait for that one. Thank you everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video if you've not already. Tom Grant says, hi Beth, who's scoring tomorrow? Sesko and Cunha. Yeah, I'm going to back Cunha to get his first Manchester United goal. I won't give my score prediction away too early, but I think Cunha will score. That's one element of my prediction I will give you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a brilliant Friday night, whatever you're doing. Let's hope United can get the win tomorrow, and I will see you on the next one.